Hi Taurus, welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your August 2024 tarot reading. Thanks to those of you who like, viewed, shared, and subscribed to the channel. I appreciate all that. For those of you new to the channel, as far as what me and from us, the Celtic crossbred as always, and I also pulled the 4 agreements and wisdom oracle card for you guys. But we're actually going to start the reading off by rolling over astrology as we and from us to get an idea of where your focus should be as far as that goes. Alright, we have Aquarius, and for you guys, Aquarius is actually your 10th house of career and social status. We've had Pluto in there recently. It's slowly backtracking toward Capricorn again, but that could be making you feel like there's a sudden change of pace within your career sector. And there will be a full moon in Aquarius as well in August, so it makes sense to see that come up in that regard too. Alright, we have 11, and 11th house energy for you guys is actually Pisces. Astrologically speaking, we've had Neptune there for quite some time, and also Saturn. So, maybe there's a little bit of confusion around the groups and friendships that you have in your lives at this time. And we have the South Node. And the South Node is actually in Libra, which for you guys is your 6th house of work, health, daily routines. So maybe you're looking to change some things up around that area of life as well. Alright, so we'll keep all that in mind as we go through the main spread. In the main situation position, we actually have the King of Pentacles, which is the court card for your sign. And then challenging that, we have Temperance, which is Sagittarius energy. So I feel like this is saying that for a lot of you, you've been operating in your comfort zone for a while, right? Which maybe has been suiting you well. Maybe you've had some successes while doing so. But with the Temperance energy coming out in the challenge position, it could just be saying that this month, all of a sudden, you might be feeling this nudge to do something a little bit out of character for yourselves, right? So maybe just to get a change of pace, maybe break up the routine that you might have been in for a while. Right. In the foundation position, we have the 10 of Pentacles. So this is Virgo energy here. And to me, this says that you probably have, again, like I said, through your operating through your comfort zone and what you're good with. I feel like this is saying that that has led to you getting a certain amount of success and stability within your lives. And then maybe that's saying that because you've gotten to that point, that is why the universe is now nudging you to say, okay, now that you've really locked things in that area of life, now you could actually take a chance and do some exploring in other areas. All right, past position, we have the Fool. So to me, this says that most likely you did have that adventurous spirit in the past, right? But it could just be saying that maybe that was before you had this ability, though, right? So maybe it's one of those things where it's saying, hey, so, okay, let's just say, for example, maybe when you were fresh out of high school, you used to take spontaneous trips, right? But at the time, you didn't really have money because you weren't really working, things along those lines, right? Now it's like, okay, now you've established a career right here, very well off. Financially speaking, now it's like, okay, so some of those things you used to do back then when you barely had the money to do it, right? Maybe you give it another opportunity now. So it could just be one of those things where maybe those types of energies are coming back to the surface for you now, saying that, okay, maybe you might look at that as, oh, that was kind of silly of me to do it back then, but now that you're in a totally different position, you could have a totally different experience by doing it. All right, in the present position, we have the Knight of Wands, so Sagittarius energy here. So yeah, like I said, I feel like this is, given that the Temperance energy is also Sagittarius energy too, like this is just something that's coming up for you guys where you're feeling like, okay, yeah, I do want to get out, I want to explore, right? Maybe break up my routine, right? Maybe even feeling like, okay, yes, I'm comfortable where I'm at right now, but it would be nice to get a nice change of pace, even if only for a short time. All right, in the near future position, we have the 7 of Cups. So this is Scorpio energy here. And to me, this almost comes across as you convince yourself, like, okay, yeah, you know what, let me do something a little bit different, right? Let me do something that's a bit of a change of pace. And then you're like, okay, but where do I begin, right? Because like I said, you might have just been operating in your comfort zone for so long that now to step outside of it, you're like, okay, like I said, maybe it even came naturally to you at one point in the past, but now you've just been thriving so much in your comfort zone that now to step outside it, you're like, okay, where do I even begin, right? So you might feel like you're shaking the rust off. And of course, this could at least partly be due to the fact that we'll have Mercury retrograde early in August, starting in Virgo, which is your fifth house, and then moving into Leo, which is your fourth house. So that could be where the confusion's coming into play too. All right, the position of your influence in a situation, we have the King of Cups. So yeah, I feel like this is saying that for some of you might look at that and say to yourselves, okay, well, maybe I'm not quite ready to do this yet, right? So you might still think it through, right, and really get some thought like, okay, what would be the best way for me to change things up, right? Maybe even looking at things through a more emotional lens as well, trying to figure out what would be the best route to go, especially if you have been operating in more of the earthly realm most of the time. But yeah, that's what I see with that. Right, in the environment position, we have the Seven of Wands. So this is Leo energy here. So yeah, it could just be saying that even maybe what's taking place too is maybe within your home environment there's frustration there, right? But again, especially because like we said, there will be the Mercury retrograde in your fourth house of your home environment. So it'll just be one of those things where like, okay, I just need to get away from it, right? No, I mean, let's just look at a generic way maybe it's playing out, right? So for example, maybe you work from home, right? Maybe you have children, and now your children are home from school for the summer. You're like, okay, like I need to get out of this environment for a little bit, right? So that could be one way it's playing out for some of you at least. All right, in the hopes or fears position, we have the moon. So yeah, I'm going to assume in this position anyway, that's more than likely a fear for you guys to, like I said, you might talk yourself into saying, okay, yeah, maybe I will do something to change up the routine, right, for a bit. But now you're like, okay, but I don't want to make the wrong choice, right? So, like I said, in a way, so going back to the example I was saying with the Fool card, if this was something that came more naturally to you in the past, but again, like I said, maybe you didn't have the resources to take an extravagant trip back then, right? So you were limited in your choices. But now, if you are in a better place financially and you that also opens more opportunities to you, right? So now you're like, okay, now I have too many choices. Back then, you might only had but one place you could go. As far as you might not have had money to do much else. Now, if you do have money, you're like, okay, well now I have all these different places I could go, and so then you could end up feeling like you're stuck in a circle there, where you might almost feel pressured now, like, oh, I hope I don't pick the wrong place. All right, and in the outcome position, we have the Eight of Swords. So yeah, so for some of you, this could just be saying that as we progress through August, you still might feel like, okay, yeah, I'm just not ready to make this decision yet. And again, like I said, if that's the case, try not to be too hard on yourselves and say, okay, even to just make the decision that, yes, I'm going to do this could be a big step. And then if you do still feel like, oh, but I'm not quite ready to make a decision on where just yet, just keep in mind, like we said, we're going to have the Mercury retrograde energy. It'll wrap up toward the end of August. It'll be like a post shadow period for a bit too. But yeah, as you move into September, you might feel a lot more confident making the decision then. All right, moving on to your 4 agreements card, we have always do your best and express your own divinity. Right, it says you don't need the acceptance of others. You don't need knowledge or great philosophical concepts. You have the right to be you, and you express your own divinity by being alive and by loving yourself and others. So yeah, definitely a positive message there. If you are feeling some form of self-doubt for whatever reason, doesn't necessarily look like that'll be the case, other than, like I said, maybe deciding on where you'd go on a vacation or something like that. But in the grander scheme of things, looks like you guys are on pretty firm footing. All right, from the Wisdom Oracle, we have exchanging gifts. There's the artwork, and the number is 27. So we'll see what this has to say. All right, essential meanings says the law of giving and receiving, currency, trade-offs, weighing cost, and determining value. The Oracle's message: you're entering into a productive and enriching time when all manner of opportunities are being offered to you. You have everything you need to seize them, yet in order to honor them, you must put in the time, exchange your experience and skills, and commit heart and soul to what you're choosing to pursue. You can do it. You have what it takes to be successful if you align with the law of giving and receiving. You must engage in a dance of give and take, push and pull, doing and being. If you let fear guide your choices, you could deplete yourself or create an imbalance. This is not a time of just do, do, do. Use your currency wisely and be mindful of the value others bring to your life. So yeah, definitely an interesting message there, right? Because the practical example that came to mind for me was, like I said, maybe you guys are thinking about taking a vacation somewhere just to switch things up, and then you become overwhelmed because, like, all right, back when I used to take vacations, I didn't have as many options. Now I have a lot, and that's making it more stressful for whatever reason, which is almost defeating the purpose, right? So it would be as simple as that, or like we said, for those of you given a message we just read there, it could be relating to other areas of life, but hopefully that resonated. The relationship message says love is an exchange of life force energy between two beings. It grows exponentially when it's reciprocated. You must give and receive in order for love to flourish and abundance to flow between you. Spirit wants you to start accepting all the blessings waiting for you, as well as offer the same gift in return. Open your heart and allow it to be filled. Let love in and let it flow out of you too. Love is truly yours today. I do have to say that this overall spread didn't really come across to me as like a romantic connection situation, but for those of you who are looking for guidance there, hopefully that resonated. And the prosperity message says all your hard work and efforts, your commitment to learning, creating, and spending your time wisely pay off in ways you may not have been anticipating. The gifts of yourself, your time, your ideas, and the energy of your intentions are being reciprocated by the universe, which is sending you signs and signals, aligning synchronistic meetings and opportunities to bring you success and more. Everything is an exchange. Keep doing what you're doing. Goodwill comes back tenfold. So yeah, definitely a positive message there for those of you if you are having some kind of doubts. Where, like I said, it looks like at the very least in one area of life, it looks like things are really solid for you. But I feel like it's saying that because of that, it looks like you're being nudged to explore other areas at least temporarily, and that might actually refresh other areas of your life too. So hope it resonates for you guys. We'll wrap up there, and I'll see you all next month. All right, bye.